All right, we are currently leaving the Orlando VA hospital, and I thought I would fill you guys in on what happened and what's going on. I was scheduled, and I had them do it all in one day because I didn't want to come here like every single day of the week, because you know this is all the way in Orlando, and I'm normally all the way back in the Melbourne Palm Bay area. But they are trying to do some tests with my eyes to see, you know, what's making me lose my vision, and also brain scans, you know, neck scans. I don't know. They're checking my nervous system to see why I'm kind of going numb, semi-paralyzed. So basically, I was here all day, and I had 6 different appointments scheduled at the hospital. I only ended up doing 5 of them because one of them they dropped due to time constraints. But even, I think 2 or 3 of them went bad as far as the testing. One was the eye. They had a thing called like a field test to see, you know, they wanted a 30-degree or whatever field test. They wanted to see my eyes to see if I could see little tiny pinhole lights. And for that one, you have to have your eye like wide open. The problem I had was, one, the tech kept saying, open your eyes wider. I don't know if you can tell. I'm Asian. My eyes are slits. They don't open any wider. I tried to tell him that. So then he stuck masking tape. He stuck like tape on my eyelids to pull them open, you know, like that, to try to get them to open. But then your eyes, they start stinging. They dry out and start stinging, and they go out of focus. The other problem is, remember, since I've had the flashes of light, my eyes have been out of focus. Like even with these glasses, things are blurry now. I'm not seeing clearly. That's why I was having such a hard time reading things. So, remember the Lotto episodes where I did it and I couldn't see what the symbols were? It makes it awfully hard to play Lotto if you can't see what you're scratching off. But that's what's going on. So, he had me tried to tape up my eye, and it hurt like heck. And then he kept telling me to open them wider. And I'm like, I can't open them any wider. They're slits. I'm Asian. And he thought I was joking, but no. They don't open any wider. This is it. You know, this is it. This is how wide. This is as wide as... I'm making my eyes as wide as possible right now. This is me stretching my eyes. You know, the eyelid, trying to pop them open. But that's what it looks like. Well, finally he gave up on the tape idea. And then he said, well, just try to force them open while you're looking. So I did, you know, for the test. So already we had a problem because I wasn't focusing on the light as much as I should have, or was supposed to, because I was focusing on keeping my eyelid open. The second problem, which I think is even more severe, is even though they put corrective lenses on the eyepiece thing that you look through at the yellow light, they took the correction based on the records of my eyes, you know, my glass prescription, which normally would give me 20/20, but because of all the flashes and stuff that had occurred in my eyes, I currently, with the glasses, don't have 20/20. Things right now are blurred, even with the glasses on. So, when they're trying to do little tiny pinholes of light, very weak light, some stronger, some weaker, little tiny dots of light that pop up, basically they pop up on the screen, and you have to keep looking straight ahead. You cannot move your eyes towards the light, which is a normal reaction. You have to look straight ahead at the yellow dot and not look at anything else, just the yellow dot, always. And then the light goes on, and you have to push a button. It's got this little bulb with a button on it, kind of like a hearing test, but on your vision. And you have to really concentrate on that. Well, I'm concentrating on popping my eyes open, so I got my eye like that, you know, trying to open it. And I couldn't really see the light, and then my eyes started drying out, and then I had to blink, so I'm missing lights. The second problem is then you move your head, and the test gets thrown out. So, and I had been there 2.5, 3 hours early to try to get in there because I had MRIs scheduled at radiology, 2 MRIs. They didn't see me till late. like almost 40 minutes late, which only gave a few minutes to do that test before I had to be rushed to the MRI. So I was supposed to have 2 things done over there at the optical lab or whatever it's called, but they ended up doing just the vision test, and he did what he called the short version. But even then, it took forever because we were trying to get my eyes open, and it wouldn't open. So I don't know how valid those results are. He said, you know, he's going to turn them in and see what the doctor says, but it was not a very good reading. I think it shows me as blind, which I may be. Then so then I rushed out to get to the radiology to do the 2 MREs. They put you into that chamber, and I had 2 of them. You know, I had one back to back. So I was supposed to be in the chamber for like 45 minutes. I think I was in there more than an hour, almost an hour and a half. I don't know if you've ever been in an MRI chamber. It's like you can't move in there. Think of it like a battery. You know, the carbon battery has a little rod inside. Well, you're that little rod that goes inside the battery. So the chamber's this big round thing, and they have this little table, kind of like gurney-like thingy that you lay on, and then they slide you in, and they strap your head down to try not to move it. So they got your head on this thing, and then they put this mask that looks like a torture device. It's like this little tiny mask right over your face, and you get this little gap to look out. And then you have to not move at all. So they try to do the running scans in there, but you're laying on your back, and I don't know if it's because of the glue or whatever, but I'm salivating like crazy. And it doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you're salivating while you're laying on your back, you're gonna drown in your own spit. So, you know, I kept swallowing. I was like, and every time I do that, see how the throat moves? Whenever you do that, everything moves. So, all those images came up blurry. You know, after an hour and a half, I guess the tech gave up. And he said he's just gonna say incomplete or partial, incomplete test, because I kept moving. And I was trying not to freak out in the chamber, because it's like, you're in this chamber and you can't move. They give you this bulb to push if you freak out, if you have a panic attack, which some people do. I kept pretending I was in outer space, you know, that I was traveling to Mars or something. And they had me under cryo sleep. That's what I was pretending. And I tried not to move, but whenever I swallowed, that little movement right there, that's enough to move you. So he said that I kept moving in there, but I couldn't not swallow. You know, they were trying to do a scan of my brain and a scan of my neck to see what's going on with the neck. See if any of the what do they call those soft thingies? I don't know. My brain is so tired right now. So it's kind of disappointing that I went through all that. Basically, I was in the chamber for more than an hour and a half, trying not to move and trying my best. But because I kept getting water in my mouth while I'm laying on my back, I had to swallow. And whenever I swallowed, it would cause movement. And that would, I think that ruins the whole image. So I think that the guy tried to make me feel good. You know, he's like, well, you know, you're just gonna let him know it's a partial, because I couldn't do the whole thing because I kept moving. And I did try not to move, but I can't not breathe and swallow, especially when my saliva is building up and I'm laying on my back and my neck's stuck. You know, they have you in a brace-like thing, so you try not to move you, but I guess I moved too much, so that's bad. So basically, my 2 MRIs were probably bad. If not, at least one of them was bad. I don't know, but maybe both were bad. And then my field of vision test, which is for the blindness, may be bad too. Almost like a wasted day, because that's why I was here. You know, they were trying to figure out what was wrong. And Then the other thing was, while I was in the MRI thing, of course I came out, then I have noticed, well, first off, the VA is closing, you know, the hospital, the regular part, other than the emergency room, because it's like almost 6 o'clock now. I got out at like 5:45. So I had a notice from YouTube saying that Viacom claimed copyright on that episode with the South Park boys. You know, what had happened was I was showing people how I could broadcast from the DVD player to my big screen, well, not big screen, but my 19-inch screen TV, and run the sound through there, so I can actually watch videos off the DVD player. And because it had South Park in it, and also because I mentioned South Park on the video as well as on the title, Viacom flagged it, and as a result, they blocked it. So it's been blocked from worldwide viewing. Because I guess they have people stealing South Park episodes and putting them up on YouTube. What that means is all that filming was gone. I may have to do another episode where I show you how to hook up the TV and just not run any, I don't know what I'm going to run, maybe not mention it, and only show like 1 second of it or something. But that episode, I mean, it didn't show the whole movie, it had me talking, but there was enough on there that I guess, you know, once they saw the word South Park, the machine looked for that, images of it, or as soon as they see the word South Park, which I shouldn't even be mentioning it on this one because it could end up causing this one to be copyrighted, you know, because they do analyze what you say on your videos. It's like a robot listening to all this and creating a transcript. That's kind of how they figure out what the content is all about. But anyhow, I am going to head back right now. I did add water, and I went into the bathroom before I left to get another gallon of water. So right now there's no coolant in the system, just water, which I need to add some coolant. But I do have to go see the mechanic tomorrow morning to have him deal with the tie rods and also possibly to put on a new antenna. But I guess I'll have him look at the leak also and see what he can do, if anything, about the leak. But that's going to be more money. So I don't know. I have to go by and get some money and stuff and have that all ready for him for tomorrow. But those will be my 3 things I got to try to get him to repair, and then possibly look into how much it's going to cost to do the air conditioning. I had tried to repair the leaking coolant level using that heat thingy. It was supposed to be, I forget what it's called, JB Weld, but it didn't work. And then I tried using super glue from Dollar Tree. It was basically gooey stuff, like silicone almost. It said it would withstand up to 300 degrees. But I tried putting that on there, and evidently it went through it. So it couldn't handle either the PSI or the temperature, or a combination of both. That was supposed to be waterproof also, by the way. So basically, those 2 efforts were lost. I wasted about $7 trying to fix it. And now I'm going to have to ask the mechanic tomorrow, assuming I make it back without problems, because it is leaking right now. I know it's leaking because it leaked all the way out, you know, from my drive up from Brevard up to Orlando. But I didn't fill the fluid this morning. I just filled it just now on my way back, and it was about a gallon. So I'm hoping that going back it'll only leak a gallon also, and I'll just need to add some more when I get back to Brevard County. I'm gonna try to head straight to the mechanics and maybe chill out over there. That'll be my plan. I'll go by Walmart, get some food, then head over towards the mechanics. Well, maybe I'll add water, then I'll head towards the mechanics. That might be my best bet. So I can't really add the water until the coolant is cool, because otherwise when I open it, it might, you know how antifreeze or coolant from the radiator shoots out as steam when it's hot. But that's what's going on. I don't know the results yet. I guess I'll have to schedule follow-ups with the various doctors to see, you know, I may have to call them. But at the end of today, after leaving the MRI and knowing that, you know, all that time that I spent in that little chamber was probably wasted,